Nddc, that Nddc was one of the first full boards to be inaugurated by Mr. President. It goes a long way in showing that he means well for the region, and he has therefore charged us, not just those of us on the board, but every stakeholder within the region to ensure the development of the region. So far, we've come up with a few programs. The MD, when he comes on stage, would elaborate on those programs. But it's important that you please work with us. You please have some understanding and some patience. To date, we're fortunate enough that the budget has been passed by the National Assembly. We're very thankful to the leadership of the National Assembly for ensuring that the budget was passed timely. The next stage will have to do with the implementation of the budget. And when we begin to implement the budget, that is when a lot of the programs that we have sat down and put together will be able to begin to impact and benefit the people of the region. It's on this note that I thank each and every one of you for joining us here today. We will continue to engage with the stakeholders. We will continue to ensure transparency, fairness, and equity in the discharge of our duties. I thank you very much for your attention, and I welcome you to this stakeholders engagement.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, if your hands are not too busy, can we put our hands together for the Chairman, Nddc. May I, at this point, respectfully acknowledge the presence of distinguished Senator Eteng Williams from Cross River State. Please, let's put our hands together. He is a member of the Senate Committee on Nddc. We also have here with us distinguished Senator Orwell Oyesu, distinguished servitor of River State, from River State. Please put your hands together for him. May I, at this point, invite my colleague Thelma Ibegu to introduce the next item on this program.
Thank you very much, Seleme. The famous clergyman did say, teamwork makes the dream work. And that is why it's important to have stakeholders come together and talk about the issues that affect us as Niger Deltans. In the month of July, not too long ago, we had the Niger Delta Stakeholder Summit in River State, Portharcourt. And out of that summit came a communique. It is my pleasure to invite the Director, Legal Services, Nddc, Dr. Stephen Ihomaye, to read the communique released at the last Stakeholder Summit held on the 12th of July, 2024. Mr. Stephen Ihomaye, please. Thank you. Can we put our hands together for him, please, as he comes to read the communique that we put together after the Niger Stakeholder Summit.
Good afternoon. May I respectfully plead that I stand on existing protocols in order to save time. This is a communique that was issued at the end of the Niger Delta Stakeholder Summit, which was held in Portharcourt, River State, from the 10th to the 12th of July, 2024. In a bid to cascade Mr. President's renewed hope agenda down to the Niger Delta region and the need for strategic stakeholder engagement, which forms a crucial part of the agenda, the Niger Delta Development Commission, Nddc, convoked a stakeholder summit from the 10th to the 12th of July 2024 in Portharcourt, River State. The summit brought together stakeholders in the region to constructively deliberate on issues affecting the region and its development, with a view to further transforming the region. The theme of the summit was renewed hope for sustainable development of the Niger Delta. Stakeholders, including traditional rulers, professionals, entrepreneurs, youth groups, women groups, development partners, and the oil producing companies brainstormed on various issues affecting the region and proffered possible solutions. The pre-summit technical session of the event, held on Wednesday, the 10th of July 2024, at the Jade Signature Hotel in Portharcourt. The technical session was chaired by His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodinma, Governor of Imo State, while the keynote address was delivered by the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who noted that in a bid to clearly capture the Niger Delta region as a national security priority in a more active and determined way within the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and his renewed hope agenda, the Office of the National Security Advisor shall for the first time set up a directorate that shall specialize in security of the Niger Delta, through which it will take a critical look at the peculiar security challenges of the region in a focused and professional way. Goodwill messages were delivered by the governors and several dignitaries present. There was a presentation on the 7 pillars of development for the Niger Delta Regional Development Strategy. These pillars are economic development, social development, infrastructure development, environmental development, security, law and order, governance and institutions, as well as finance. There were 7 syndicate sessions where participants actively discussed on all the 7 pillars of development vis-à-vis current challenges and possible solutions. The syndicate sessions had participation and input from the advisory committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission, comprising governors of states of the region, traditional rulers, youth groups, women groups, development partners, civil society organizations, and other critical stakeholders of the region. The summit proper. The main summit held on Friday, the 12th of July 2024 at the Obiwali Cultural Center, Portharcourt, with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, as special guest of honor, and the distinguished chairmanship, under the distinguished chairmanship of former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR. The chief host of the summit was Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, GCON, the President of the Senate of Nigeria. Goodwill messages were received from governors of the states of the region and other dignitaries. The keynote address was delivered by Professor Egosa Osagai, Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, who set the tone for the robust plenary deliberations. The summit then went into plenary sessions with a report of the technical session forming the platform for the discussions. The findings and recommendations from the technical session were reviewed and further deliberated upon. At the end of the sessions, the following were arrived at as resolutions from the entire summit. 1. The reactivation of the Nddc Advisory Committee under Section 11 of the Nddc Establishment and so on Act 2000 as amended, to advise and monitor the activities of the Commission. 2. The summit accepted the recommendations of the Advisory Committee as follows. A. That all funds due and outstanding to the Commission from the statutory sources, including the federal government and the Ecological Fund, be vigorously pursued and recovered. B. That additional sources of funding for the Nddc, such as at least 3% of VAT revenue, should be legislated. C. Increased synergy between the Commission and the Advisory Committee to achieve a more robust efficiency and activate all organs provided in the Act. D. There is urgent need to remove the Commission from the TSA policy as it limits the Commission from fully achieving its interventionist mandate. E. That the federal government should strictly adhere to the tenure provisions of the Nddc Act and avoid the incessant dissolution of boards of the Commission and the aberrant use of interim management to run the affairs of the Commission. Also, the Commission should be insulated from political interference, which puts undue pressure on the leadership of the Commission. F. There is urgent need to complete the East-West Road, which was awarded nearly 20 years ago, to ease transportation across the region. G, to thoroughly consider the Nddc Establishment Act and drive support for amendments of the Act where necessary. H, to avoid duplication of projects and efforts in the region by ensuring robust consultation between the Nddc and the 9 member states in project implementation. 3, proper planning is crucial to any development, and therefore a review of the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan, appropriate data gathering was essential to any realistic development plan. There must be quantitative and qualitative input from key stakeholders in preparing or reviewing the master plan. 4, the region's educational curriculum should be reviewed and designed to meet 21st century needs. Technical and vocational training must be given priority by creating technical/vocational training hubs. There should be improved funding of the region's educational system. 5, on healthcare, water, sanitation, and hygiene, there should be sufficient funding of rural and community health centers and the training and retraining of personnel to man them. The private sector should be engaged more in partnerships in these areas. 6, on women and youth, there should be more women representation in all sectors of the region's economy. Programs for persons living with disability should be prioritized. 7, on sports, tourism, culture, and hospitality, there is need for sustained investment and capacity building in the region's entertainment and creative industries. Sports development in areas where the region has comparative advantage, such as swimming and wrestling, should be given serious attention. There is need to have a special gathering for the creative industry. 8, funding the implementation of the regional development strategy should be done through 3 sources. 1, traditional budget sources, that is FGN, internally generated revenue, and so on, 33.3%. Public-private partnerships, 33.3%. Development finance, 33.3%. 9, initiation of the Niger Delta Development Bank, NDDB, to drive the mobilization of development finance from local and global sources should be given priority. Loans should be given to SMEs within the region to drive economic and industrial growth. 10, modern technology should be deployed in project monitoring and evaluation. 11, there should be an integrated waste management system that can convert waste to wealth. 12, on erosion control and flood management, there should be canalization, shore protection, and land reclamation projects. 13, that there should be community sensitization and enlightenment campaigns on all ecological issues. 14, that there should be biodiversity conservation and reforestation to stimulate mangrove restoration. On oil pollution, that there should be holistic remediation across communities in the Niger Delta to avoid compromise on cleaned areas. Government should uphold the provisions of the environmental guidelines and standards for the petroleum industry in Nigeria and enforce proper decommissioning of oil facilities. 16, creation of technology hubs within the region to drive creativity, innovation, and the rapid development of the region in areas of artificial intelligence. 17, diversification from oil and gas to agro-based regional economy. 18, there is need to inaugurate the celebration of an annual Niger Delta Day on the 12th of July in acknowledgement of the founding fathers of the Niger Delta struggle who sacrificed life and limb. Lastly, that regular convocation of stakeholder engagement such as this should be sustained. The communique is dated the 12th day of July 2024 in Portharcourt, Rivers State. Thank you very much.
Please, everyone. round of applause for the Director of Legal Services, Nddc, Barrister Stevie Homoya. Thank you, sir. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point bring to the podium the man who believes in stakeholders' engagement, the face of Project Hope, and a strong believer of public-private partnership. Chief Samuel Obuku, PhD, Nddc for the keynote address. Please, a round of applause for him as he makes his way to the podium. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our father, Dr. Godswill Obot Akpabio, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Nddc, Senator Asukwo Ekpeyong, other senators who are in company of His Excellency the Senate President, especially those from the region, members of the National Assembly, the Chairman of the Governing Board of Nddc, the EDs and other members of the Board of Nddc, traditional rulers, ethnic nationality leaders, youth leaders, women leaders of the Niger Delta, the coordinator of the Amnesty program. Let me specially recognize my senior brother, Alhaji Mujadin Asari Dokobo. Let me also recognize Chief Ayiri Imami and some other leaders who are also here from the Niger Delta. I can see past leaders who have actually struggled for social justice in the Niger Delta and are still struggling. However, most of these leaders are here today because they believe the struggle has gravitated from street struggle, protest, to intellectual struggle. And it is because they believe in the intellectual struggle part of the Niger Delta struggle, that is why they are here under this roof. They are here because they don't intend to be on the streets. They have been on the streets for so many years. And for all the years that they've been on the streets, it has brought both joy and sorrow to the Niger Delta people. Some persons lost their lives. And the better part of it is that today we have Nddc, we have the Ministry of Niger Delta. The people of the Niger Delta even had the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today we have the Senate President. Today we have the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps. The people of the Niger Delta keep reaping from that struggle. That struggle, just like as I said, has also brought its own positives. However, as the people of the Niger Delta, we believe that there is no situation we cannot surmount. We have fought wars, and we know that in the face of economic hardship, we can still survive. The economic hardship that we are talking about today, yes, there are difficulties, there are issues, there are questions to be answered. But Nigeria as a federation, most of these hardships we are facing today were not actually orchestrated by the present administration. The present administration is trying its best to come out with policies and programs that will fix some of these economic difficulties. But what the government needs is just patience. There is nothing as beautiful and gladdening to have a father that listens. We are blessed as a people to have a president who listens to his people, a president who listens to Nigerians, a president that when Nigerians speak, he reacts. And that is why you can see that recently the president has approved the minimum wage, and the president has also approved that PMS should be, crude oil should be sold to Dangote refinery in Niger. These are all things that people clamored for, and just in a way to fix the present hardship. Because when we talk about the difference between dollar and naira, you understand that it has to border on crude oil production. Right now, our crude oil production is not at the level where we can match our own import cost, because crude oil production is still below 1,500 barrels per day. So with that, definitely we cannot meet up our own costs. The government is doing everything it can to ensure that most of these economic difficulties are being cushioned. As much as the government is also looking up to youths from the region, stakeholders from the region, to cooperate with the government to ensure that crude oil production increases for the country to benefit. We know that, yes, we have been cooperative. That is why the government is also willing to support us to help the government the more. If Niger Delta is happy, Nigeria is happy. If Niger Delta is prosperous, Nigeria will be prosperous. That is the power you and I have. And because we have that power, let us try to use that power in a positive way. That power is what gives us our own credit. That is what gives us our own stake in the federal government of Nigeria. This is the time we need to use that power to negotiate for development in the Niger Delta. And because we are here today for sensitization, it is not a day for too many speech making. It is to sensitize us. Because sometimes whatever the government does, if the people do not know, communication gap itself can bring about crisis. But for people of the Niger Delta, I trust my youths that I'm seeing. I trust my women that I'm seeing. That is why at every point in time, I am willing to come down to your level and relate with you at your level. You know, Mr. President has done very well for even making one of your own the MD of Nddc. I believe that is also a blessing to the youths of the Niger Delta. Mr. President did not only make one of you the MD of Nddc, Mr. President made one of you who was in the trenches struggling with you the MD of Nddc. That is why we keep coming up with various stakeholders' engagement in a bid of being accountable to you, because we believe you need to know what we are doing. Because we are only managing the resources of Nddc, which is your patrimony, on your behalf. We are only here representing you. So we owe you that accountability. Having said that, I want to tell the people of the Niger Delta that because Mr. President loves the Niger Delta, I could remember my very first encounter with Mr. President when he became president. Immediately he saw me, Mr. President was very, very angry. He was angry because he was seeing the underdevelopment in the Niger Delta. And being the MD of the Niger Delta Development Commission, it was as if I was wearing the toga of underdevelopment, and it's as if maybe I was also wearing the toga of those who have oppressed the people of the Niger Delta. With that encounter, I told Mr. President that, Your Excellency, give me the opportunity, we can develop the Niger Delta together. And Mr. President assured me and said, I will give you that opportunity. And that opportunity is a moral burden I carry. And that opportunity is the same opportunity which our father, the Senate President also alluded to and confirmed to Mr. President and told Mr. President that this young man, if given the opportunity, we trust him, he can deliver. And that is why in everything we do, the Senate President wants to be present, because he wants to show that support from now till the end of the tenure of this board. Because Mr. Senate President has also taken that undertaking before Mr. President, that he's going to support us to succeed. So if we fail, that means it rubs off on him too. But we know we are not going to fail. Together we are going to develop the Niger Delta. At least those of us who know the Senate President will know him as the uncommon developer. At least if you go to Akwa Ibom, you can see his touch in development. And that is why we always run to him to ensure that we take lessons from him on how we can also extend that development to the Niger Delta. We also have a minister who has also taken that same undertaking on our behalf, that he trusts the board and management. Hence, the minister himself has also given us that free hand to come up with programs and activities that will bring about development in the Niger Delta. And he has given us all the support all the way. And the board chairman that is here and the board have also given us all the support. So I don't think we have any excuse or any reason to fail. But talking to the people of the Niger Delta, Mr. President, to show his love and commitment to the people of the Niger Delta, Mr. President, in the 2024 budget, personally incorporated things in the budget that will bring about the rapid development of the Niger Delta. To start with, Mr. President on his own, when we went to meet him to complain about the funding challenges on how to fund our budget, Mr. President directed that the Nddc should incorporate 1 trillion in the Nddc budget that will be borrowed to fund the budget to fund specific projects that have been long abandoned in the Niger Delta, because Mr. President has challenged us that he wants to commission legacy projects in the Niger Delta in the next 2 years. So I wonder, if the man does not love the Niger Delta, nobody will give you 1 trillion naira. And now, in order to support what Mr. President is doing, our father, the President of the Senate, judiciously and immediately, the fastest Nddc budget that has been passed, in 24 hours Nddc budget was passed. And because we also have the Deputy Speaker in the House of Reps, when the budget got to the House of Reps, the Deputy Speaker also played his role and the budget was passed immediately. Right now, both chambers have passed the budget of the Nddc, which is waiting the assent of Mr. President, and Mr. President is going to assent to that budget immediately. Last time I spoke with the chairman of the Senate Committee on Nddc, he told me that that budget is going to be in force not less than the month of August. So now the question is that what is in that budget that Mr. President has placed for the people of the Niger Delta, apart from the 1 trillion that is bringing in to fund projects that have been long abandoned. Imagine 1 trillion in this region. There will be jobs all over the place. Probably youth will be engaged in different sites. All these jobs that have been abandoned, those are the things Mr. President wants to complete. And these projects are going to cut across the 9 states of the region. Apart from that, Mr. President, we have in the budget the Public and Communal Infrastructure Innovation Scheme, which it is a scheme aimed at also empowering the youths of the Niger Delta and women. The whole idea is, we thought we don't just want to spoon feed the youths and women and entrepreneurs in the region. Let us teach them how to work. Some of them may not have the funding and finances to fund projects worth 100 billion, worth 200 billion. So let us start with renovation. And those renovations, we are going to break it down in different categories to ensure that we carry along the least person, the least person, if we are going to renovate this building, one person will probably be renovating the roof, one person will be doing the tiling, one person will be doing the windows, one person will be doing the electrical works, so that these jobs can go round everybody. That is what we have in the budget. Public and communal infrastructure renovation scheme. Then, for entrepreneurs, just to tell you, last week, Thursday specifically, we had a meeting with the Bank of Industry to consummate our partnership. Because in the budget, we are making available 30 billion naira, which will be a counterpart funding with Bank of Industry to support entrepreneurs in the region. That is also there. So for those who are entrepreneurs in agriculture, different form of entrepreneurship, you are going to be funded. We have that 30 billion, which is going to be a counterpart funding between we and the Bank of Industry. That was why we came up with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce. So it is going to go through a process through the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, so that anybody who is benefiting, you know it is not free money. It is money that you must also merit. You must also earn it. So gone are the days when people take money, portfolio businessmen take money, eat it, and think that it is free money. We want a situation whereby this money can also go round, so that those who do not get this year can get next year. In the same budget, we have also made provisions for the Project Hope, which you know, and Project Hope, to announce to you, Project Hope was supposed to be launched today, but for the sake of this program, because Mr. President directed that we must go and talk to our people, we must sensitize our people. So we have to put out the Project Hope scheme. We're also supposed to have a board meeting tomorrow. We have to also suspend all that just to ensure that we engage you people, to let you people understand that the federal government of Nigeria means well for you. If other part of Nigeria, anybody's protesting, I don't see any reason why we should protest. Let us wait to see why these things should not be implemented. Because the best way of saying we need more is to say thank you. And the only way we can say thank you is to ensure that we see through the implementation of these programs. And standing before you as being one of you, I'm also assuring you and guaranteeing you that all these programs are going to be implemented for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta. We are also carrying out our postgraduate MSc program, which recently I went to attend the graduation of some of our students in the UK. I just want to announce to you the success of that program, that 11 of our students in the UK graduated with distinctions. And out of the 11 students that graduated with distinction, let me announce to the Niger Delta women that 9 of them are women and 2 of them are male. That is to tell you that our women are doing very well. And that means subsequently we also have to look at increasing the quota of the women. Well, I want to leave the best for the last. And the best for the last is to let you know that we have in the budget something that I can say is a big deal for the youths and women of the Niger Delta. Because we know that in the face of economic difficulty, while we are going through this process, knowing that very soon we are going to come out of it, we cannot just leave you hanging like that. Because we have a government that has empathy, a government that has human face, a government that cares. And that is the kind of president we have, a president that listens. So because of that, I know that the president of the Senate is going to be the one to launch this program. But let me just give you a tip of the iceberg, so that before His Excellency, the Senate President, is officially launching it and flagging it off, using the benefit of this program to let you know that we did not just gather here just to talk to you. Gathering here, there must be something that people must take home. Because we must be talk now, do. So, for the benefit of doubt, make our talk, okay, calm down. Your Excellency, should I say it? Okay. Well, I haven't gotten the permission of His Excellency, our father that is here. Mr. President has graciously approved youth internship scheme for 10,000 youths in the Niger Delta to be paid 50,000 naira each every month. That is the first phase. That is the first phase. That is the first phase. And that scheme is taken off immediately. As we finish from this program, everybody will be communicated on how you benefit from your various local governments. Because everybody in the Niger Delta comes from a local government. But what I want to assure you is that it is not going to be politicized. It is going to be based on merit. That is why for those of you who have participated, we have to ensure that you register. And for the fact that you registered in this sensitization program, just know that you also be considered first. So, having said that, sir, I just still want to use this opportunity to assure all of us that just the way you've given me the best of cooperation, the way you have trusted me since I emerged as Managing Director CEO of Nddc, that trust for me is the bond that I share with you people. And that bond, I can assure you that it is not going to be broken, because trust is reciprocal. For the fact that you've trusted me, I also trust you. And we are going to keep that trust, to extend that trust to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because right now, I am your representative on that side, to tell you that there are good things coming, to tell you that we shouldn't follow people that want to deceive us. There are people who have been in government forever, who believe that this government is not favoring them, that are trying to stoke fire for protest. We cannot join them. We cannot join them. We cannot join them. If we know we are not going to join them, let us stand up and say we cannot join them. Great Niger Delta people, great Niger Delta people, let us sit down, please. Now that this is an affirmation that we are not part of any protest that is being called by any group of persons who are bitter, who feel they are not being favored by this administration, let us focus on what will benefit us. I believe there is still more to come. And I believe Mr. President, who is a rewarder of loyalty, just the way he rewarded our father, the Senate President, for being loyal. Mr. President being a rewarder of loyalty, seeing the loyalty of the people of the Niger Delta, if other people are saying it is not their own, let us own the government. And let us make the government our own. When we make the government our own, they say, the fewer the merrier. So let us be few and let us eat more. So when all of them go one way, let us hold the government. And I believe in 4 years, we'll have many more things to rejoice about. So, having set the tone, you also listened to the communique that was being read by the Director Legal Nddc. That was a communique that we, the people of the Niger Delta people, agreed upon during the Stakeholder Summit. People always believe that the Niger Delta people can never gather. People always believe that each time the Niger Delta people gather, they will always fight themselves. We had a very, very successful and peaceful summit where the who is who in the Niger Delta was present. It was all about conviviality and love. And at the end of the day, everybody went home safely. During that summit, the governor of Bayelsa State came and he attended that summit with pain. The pain of the status of the East-West Road that he spent 4 hours, even as a governor, before getting to Portharcourt. That was a place where some persons were spending 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It was a nightmare. And in that summit, the summit empowered the authorities to clear the gridlock. And as we are talking, for those of you who came from Bayelsa will attest to the fact that there is no more traffic there. That is a government that is working. That is a government that listens. That is a government that feels the pains of the people, because we took it upon ourselves to ensure that we cleared that traffic. Because we know what it costs the people of the Niger Delta if the East-West Road is blocked. And as I can tell you, with the supplementary budget that is being passed, Mr. President has made available funds through the Special Intervention Fund for the East-West Road to ensure that the East-West Road is completed. What we'll be doing for now will just be remedial work to maintain the place to ensure that we don't pass through the same pains anymore. That responsibility, Nddc have undertaken that responsibility and we are doing it. That is why the place is passable now. That is the benefit of having one of your own. Because if you don't have one of your own, you feel the pains. But having one of your own, I feel the pains with you. And having one of your own, the Senate President is also calling every time, asking what is the status of the road. Because the Senate President was in attendance during the summit, and immediately got back to Abuja. The first thing he told me was, MD, please do whatever you can to ensure that that road is passable. Because I feel the pains of the people. I could feel the pulse of the governor when he was talking. And that is a leader who has the pain and empathy of the people. The Minister of Niger Delta kept calling me every day and asking for status report on that road, which I was sending him videos and the situation report of how the road was going. All of them were on my neck, and I was also visiting the site regularly until the road was cleared. All these things, I'm only just saying all this to let us understand how this government has empathy. It is a government that feels the pulse of the people. And for that reason, I want to beg all of us, since we have unanimously agreed that we are going to own this government, we are not going to be part of people who want to say this government should fall. We have agreed that the fewer, the merrier. If even people who come from the zone of the president, they say they want to protest, let us rather own the government. I will later probably advise Mr. President to leave, to move the capital to South-South if they don't want him in Abuja. But we know that the people of Nigeria love Mr. President, just the way we love him. It is just very few persons who are trying to orchestrate the crisis in Nigeria. We all know where these problems are coming from. We know that the president did not create these problems. His economic policies are policies that are going to work. They are policies that are sustainable, not policies that in the past people were subsidizing dollar, using naira to defend dollar. Those policies are not sustainable. Let us for once face the reality of our challenges and confront them. If dollar is 1,600, let us fight towards bringing it through production, through agriculture, through manufacturing, to ensure that the price of dollar crashes, but not through cosmetic economy where people use naira to subsidize dollar. That is not the economy that works. Mr. President believes in sustainability. On this note, I want to thank you very much and welcome you to this occasion, and prepare your mind while we listen from our father, who is also going to tell us more about the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, can we put our hands together for the MD, CEO, Nddc, Dr. Sam Obuku. Thank you. Of course, he has reiterated the need for us to support the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. And of course, in the same light, he announced the willingness directive of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCO and GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as he approves speedily the immediate commencement of youth internship scheme for 10,000 youths in the Niger Delta every month. Please, can we put our hands together as 50,000 naira will be paid out to every youth every month. Please, if you agree with this, if you're happy for this very beautiful development, please, can we put our hands together for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I, at this point, recognize the presence of distinguished Senator Williams Eteng Jones, Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Also here is Senator Emmanuel Ibok Essien, Fellow, Nigeria Society of Engineers, former Senate Deputy Chief Whip, and National Chairman, Pan Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. Please, can we put our hands together for him? Also recognizing Chief Dennis Otuaro, PhD, Administrator of Presidential Amnesty Program. You're welcome, sir. Please put your hands together. Also here with us is a daughter of the Niger Delta, the voice of the Niger Delta woman, Ann Kyo Briggs, an environmentalist and human rights activist. You're welcome, ma'am. Also here with us is Sir Jonathan Lokobiri, President, IOC Worldwide. You're welcome. And of course, we have with us Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari, Alabo Edi Abalio of Calabari. You're welcome, sir. Also here is Chief Edward Ekpoko, Chairman Ishekiri Leaders of Thoughts. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. And may I, at this point, respectfully invite to give his remarks the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Benjamin Carlo. Please put your hands together for him as he approaches the stage.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, my elder brother, in whom I'm well pleased, I call him the Jinx Breaker, Senator Dr. Goodwill Akpabio, CON, the uncommon governor, now the uncommon President of the Senate, the Chairman of the Committee on Nddc, Senator Asukwa Ekpenyong, members of the National Assembly here present, Chairman Nddc Board, my own brother, Mr. Chiedu Ebie, the Managing Director of Nddc, Dr. Samuel Obuku, the man who has finished the work, nothing else to say. The Administrator of the Presidential Program, Dr. Otuaro Dennis. Let me also mention Alaji Dokubo, who is here. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I want to make a thank you now, because all the sobre where they go on here,
Now we be the people who own this broken English, this pidgin English. I be no be no be so. When stakeholders gather, not be everyone when they speak sobre. Someone hear the pidgin English, and it be like say me I go combine and today make we understand each other better. I want make I stand by the true salutes to the chairman of the board of this Nddc, the MD, and the members of the board. We have not had it like this before, when solid relationship existed within the board. I also want to thank the President of the Senate and members of the legislature, especially the committee heads. We've never had a rancor-free relationship like we are having now. I want to thank the stakeholders, because if the horizontal relationship is good and the vertical relationship is weak, that will be katakata. But you have given tremendous support to the leadership of this commission. What that has done for Mr. President and those of us in government is that it has given us confidence and trust in the administration that is in place now. I really want to thank you. Whatever formula you are using, it is working. Let me also thank the youths and all the stakeholders who are here. Like the MD said, it is believed that we come from Niger Delta and are so trouble we want to make. Anytime when we gather, not to break head. But we are beginning to show the power of unity, the power of peace. We are beginning to understand that one cannot do it alone. Coming together, we will break wall. I like the topic of today that says, come, let us build together. Tell your neighbor, come, make we build together. You know, hear them. Tell the other one, come, make we build together. That is an invitation. It means no man's brick. Yes, that is to tell you, this wall we want to build, say your brick is important. Say my brick no day enough. My skill no day enough to build them. Come, make we build them together. You bring your own, come, I bring my own, come. And there is nothing as beautiful as participatory democracy. And why it's beautiful is because of engagement. How you going to make law for people where you govern? They dish out budget for people where you govern. When you know they hear from them. That one they're good. Now when we talk like this, when we sit down like this talk, we know where in they pay you. We go collect them. That is what we call needs analysis. To make adequate solution to suit the pain or to block a gap, you must know where the gap is. And there is no how you will get to know that without needs analysis. And I want to commend you, Nddc leadership. I am so impressed. The energy in this room shows togetherness. The energy in this room shows unity. The energy in this room shows peace. And it is only in unity and peace that progress will be driven. And I can assure you, it is now time for the progress of Niger Delta. It is now time. Especially when a young, vibrant man is in charge. Another young man is in charge of the board. The other young man is in charge of the day-to-day running of the business. And he's surrounding himself with able-bodied youth who are not carrying arms, who are not saying, let us break, but they are saying, let us build. But you are not the first to stand to build this wall. There were others who came here before us. We will and must always remember them whenever we gather. I want us to rise for 1 minute silence to the generals, to all those people who work hard for this Nddc we are enjoying today. Let's give them 1 minute silence. All who pass in fighting for the liberation. Some of them are alive and they are here. Some of them have passed on. For those who have passed on, may their spirits see that we still recognize them even though they are not here. Because if they didn't fight the way they fought, we will not be here. Just 1 minute silence. May the soul of our generals who fought for the progress we are enjoying today and will yet enjoy rest in perfect peace. Amen. They will always be remembered. Let me join my voice to the voice of the MD who just spoke. Regrettably, I was not at that summit. I was on my way to the summit, but the job you gave me to do, which included Constitution Review Committee, which I chair in the Parliament, we were having a retreat that day. The aircraft was waiting for me, but the traffic jam when we left the retreat could not allow me to fly in and meet up with you. I regret not being there. But I want to commend all those who attended. Sitting there and listening to the Director Legal reel out what you deliberated on. That was a true needs analysis of our region. True needs analysis. If we can achieve everything written there, Mr. Chairman and Mr. MD and stakeholders, if we can achieve that within the next 4 years, I tell you, those who have passed before us, our forefathers, will be happy that we have a roadmap that we followed that led us to our destination. So I encourage you, let it not just be mere words spoken with golden letters. Let it be words that will be transformed to action. As a legislator, we will support you. Let me tell you, the president loves the region and has handed over a lot in the legislative arm in our hands. In the Senate, the president of the Senate is the chairman of the committee of the whole. So every law that is made in this country in the Senate passes through him. He must give his last gavel before it becomes law. So when I heard that there is something they want us to legislate on, I'm going to take a copy of that communique and we will analyze it. In the House of Rep, I am the one that every piece of law that will pass through the House of Rep, I must put the last gavel on it before it becomes law. If a president did that for you, what more are you asking for? And that brings me to explaining more things that the president has done, which many people are not, able to see or hear because we are faulting the information mechanism, dissemination mechanism of the current administration. Without missing word, they are not telling the story of this administration the way it's supposed to be told. That is why so many people are in the dark. But anytime we have a platform, we must share with our brothers because it is expected of us to take the message home. Let me mention to you, I was able to put some of them down, and briefly so. On economic initiative, the president brought consumer credit scheme, approved the first phase enabling Nigerians to access goods and services upfront and pay over time, facilitating crucial purchases like homes, vehicles, education, and healthcare. It has never happened before in Nigeria. This is the first time it took place. Let me also mention, because of time, I will just rush through. On security enhancement, national security investment has prioritized national security, leading to significant investment in modernizing and equipping security forces. Hostage and terrorist operation. This administration has freed 4,600 hostages, neutralized 9,300 hostiles, and arrested over 7,000 terrorists and bandits. This is the first administration that has started convicting those arrested from terrorist operation. Now, when it comes to agriculture and food security, immediately he arrived the office, he declared in his renewed hope agenda that food security was a major thing on that agenda. And remember, the word renewed hope means that hope was lost before he came. If there was hope, he will not be renewing it. He will continue with the hope. He came to renew because hope was lost, and then he stepped in. And 1 year is not enough for the policies that I'm reeling out to you and you will get to hear to mature. For our place, when you impregnate a woman, she doesn't give birth the following day. It takes 9 months. No be so? When you impregnate a woman, you wait for 9 months. So if we want to bet a Nigeria that we are proud of using this administration, if they have given pregnancy of policy, if we have given policies, let's give it time. These policies of renewed hope agenda needs time. 1 year is not enough for these policies to become what we want it to come. Even United Nations, when they came out with Millennium Development Goals agenda, it was not for 1 year. It was about 15 years or thereabout, or more. And even when they ended it and renewed it, they call it Sustainable Development Goals. It was not for 1 year. Why are we measuring this administration? Why are we allowing people to measure this administration under 1 year? Give it time, and all the things that they have promised to do, they will bring it to pass. In energy and natural resources, I want to assure you that in our own soil effort, we are pushing from the parliament to make sure that this Portharcourt refinery will be finally rehabilitated. We are pushing hard with the support of government. Also, gas production, targeted increased gas production to ensure the supply of about 500 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, resuscitating 3 out of 7 gas processing plants, is ongoing. We have also compressed natural gas initiative of this government, which has offered more affordable alternative to petrol and diesel through the presidential compressed natural gas initiative. When it comes to infrastructure and transportation, the first major road this administration is doing that runs to about 700 kilometers was connecting Southwest and Niger Delta. It's starting from Lagos and it's ending in Niger Delta. That is to show you that we are in the picture. We are in the picture of what this government wants to achieve. Railways from here to Abia State and going forward have been resuscitated. Portharcourt, Aba, Railway, and all the rest of them. When you talk about Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund, it's an initiative of this administration which approved to bridge Nigeria's funding gap of $25 billion per year in infrastructure, focusing on road, rail, agriculture, ports, and aviation. When you get to education, this is the scorecard of this administration. Under 1 year, when you get to education and social welfare, student loan access to higher education law has been enacted, passed in the Senate by Mr. Senate President and also in the House by people like us. And this is giving access to every son and daughter of Nigeria to access loan to obtain quality education. You look at conditional cash transfer, the payment of 25,000 to 3.2 million individuals, verified and vulnerable poor household. Market money 2.0 is still on. Expanded the government enterprise and empowerment program, GEEP, providing 500,000 recipients with 50,000 interest-free loans. And you just had the one that was announced by my brother, the MD of Niger Delta Development Commission, which we are going to benefit from 10,000 from our region. Empower debt clearance. This administration has cleared the backlog debt of Empower beneficiaries, benefiting 360,000 Nigerians. When it comes to health sector, this administration, through its basic health care provision fund, has redesigned the public health sector and has pumped in the amount of $2.5 billion financing of the national primary health care system. When it comes to humanitarian and poverty alleviation, this administration has approved humanitarian and poverty alleviation trust fund, approved the creation of a trust fund expected to generate $5 billion to address humanitarian crisis and poverty alleviation, and also verification of national social registration, collaborating with the World Bank to make sure that 15.7 million poor and vulnerable households are taken care of. I can go on and on, but there is no time for me to reel all that this administration has done in 1 year, in 365 days. Stand on the street. Now them they strong, may they stand. We weak, we go still sit down for our house, they sleep. from the 1st of August, we go to sleep, them go to stand for street. Because this man is one of us. This man has shown us love. And there is no how we will repay such love by carrying placard. We will consolidate on the gains that we are beginning to reap from Nddc. We will not lose it. Because if we fight this man and a pharaoh that does not know Joseph comes in place, and tomorrow say they are scrapping Nddc, there will be a crisis in this country. So we must stay with this one who has recognized the Niger Delta region. Abinobi so, we go stay with our president. Abinobi so, God bless you, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the people of Niger Delta. Thank you very much.
Fine man, as was chanted by the crowd. Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, for maintaining the tempo already set by the MD, CEO, and Nddc. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the tone has been set. And so it's time for our goodwill messages. And we'd like to plead with all our speakers to please limit the goodwill messages to 2 minutes, please. When he walked into the hall, you would know that a Niger Deltan had come in. You could hear the chants of Asawana. It is my pleasure to invite Sir Jonathan, President, IYC Worldwide, for his goodwill message.
I want to sincerely thank the President of the Senate, who in his busy schedules find his way to be with us today. Very specifically, I want to thank the MD and the management of the Niger Delta Development Commission for listening to suggestions of people of goodwill that a gathering of Niger Delta people be put together quickly in the face of this growing tension in our land. Thank you, MD. You could have ignored suggestions we made together and forge a common destiny for our region. Ordinarily, the idea of a protest for good service delivery to our people was not a bad idea. The truth is, Nigerians are going through a lot. As people of a blessed region, we have a sworn duty to protect our region. Whilst that idea of a protest for good governance to improve the lives, the living standards and conditions of our people was important, it's also important to underscore the essence of this so-called national protest. First, when those behind reached out to us for this protest, a few questions came into my mind, and I asked, is the East-West Road part of the demands on this protest? The answer was no. Shell, SPDC, changed its name and gave all their assets to the of divestment. Niger Delta people were completely excluded. Was that concern a part of the protest? The answer was no. The environment of the Niger Delta had continued to bleed and devastated unabatedly. efforts by Niger Deltans to cry for attention has been ignored. Yet these concerns of national disaster are not a part of the protest list. Then I became concerned that this may be an ulterior motive. When as Niger Deltans, some of us participated in NC, so they killed that idea. That idea to transform this country, to compel government to become a lot more sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. But it was killed on account of ethnicity and regionalism. Today, we have a southern president representing the larger interests of Nigeria, but southern region in particular. And if a protest that is designed by people who can own up that I am the one organizing this protest is calling for a national chaos, calling for a change of government through revolution, then it calls for questioning. When IYC led protests to the East-West route, we didn't hide our faces. We have led protests to galvanize support for development of a Niger Delta region. We have never hidden our identity. But today, protests are organized with no known leader that can pull the people together for negotiation with the government. It's a recipe for chaos. Nigeria today cannot afford a Kenyan situation in Nigeria. Today, for some of the young people who participated in EndSARS till today have never recovered from the destruction. Whilst we demand an improved governance to our people, we must be mindful of what we bring to our land. The challenges of the Niger Delta are peculiar to us. It does not concern other people. And most of our protests have never gained the support of other regions. So why should we join a national protest that is designed to end government without proper consultations with the people of the Niger Delta? These were essentially the reasons why I reached out to the MD of Nddc to quickly consider putting Niger Delta peoples together. So if for any reasons, as people of Niger Delta, we are leading our own protests, let us protest for improving the Delta. Today, the East-West road at many ends close to Eleme is impassable. Between Okogbe and Ahoda, through the interventions of the Nddc, we were able to at least manage to pass. But certain things we cannot deny the truth. That effort is not enough. Because by the time the flood comes in August, we probably might still be cut off because we cannot stop the flood. So real efforts in terms of putting those culverts together so that water can pass through must be taken immediately. Despite the frustration in the land, the Nddc within this short period have truly shown that they are a part of the Niger Delta society who understands the pains our people bear. But a lot more can be improved upon. So youth leaders of the Niger Delta, I'm very grateful that you took, within this short period, you were notified to participate in this program, you are all here. This is our region. We have a sworn duty to protect it. Let us never allow forces who want to destroy our nation simply on account of a national revolution that did not include our own opinion in their design. When we live here, let us peacefully articulate our position to tell governments on the key issues that define us as a region. Let us articulate our positions non-violently so that our region, while we struggle for more, our environment is secured. My leaders, my brothers here, the security of Niger Delta is in the hands of every one of us here. If we fail to do the needful and Niger Delta is engulfed in chaos, we will all not be absolved. These efforts, I believe, through creative endeavors, through group unity, and our shared determination, Niger Delta and Nigerians can be a better place. Thank you, and God bless all of them.
Please, a resounding round of applause for the IYC President, Sir Jonathan Lopobri. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, may I crave your indulgence to recognize Chief Aire Imami, the Olobosheri of Warri. We recognize you, sir. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next on the list is the Amazon of the Niger Delta, Ankyo Briggs. Please a round of applause for Ankyo Briggs as she makes her way to the podium. The Amazon of Niger Delta.
Good afternoon, everyone. And may I please stand on existing protocols. I do not want to take too much time. The people of the Niger Delta are people that don't need education on issues or reasons for protest. We are the makers of protests. Protest starts in the Niger Delta when it is to have any effect. We, the people of the Niger Delta, also know and we have suffered the effect, the negative effect of protests as recently as a few years ago. So we understand and we know the pain. I stand here as a mother, as a grandmother, as a sister, as a daughter, as in the Niger Delta region, within a struggle. Renewed hope is wonderful. Niger Delta women have always lived in hope. We have always lived in hope that one day things will change to the extent that women will be part of the policy makers that will build and grow and protect and sustain the Niger Delta region. Men say sometimes that they are palm wine tappers. I want to say that I'm a periwinkle picker because that's what women do. I want to very quickly state here that to this government, it cannot deny that most of the votes is said to have come from the Niger Delta region. And if that be the case, then the people of the Niger Delta, particularly the women of the Niger Delta, are interested in what is good for the women of the Niger Delta. Because when the Niger Delta woman can cook, her father, her son, her father-in-law, her neighbor, everybody gets to eat. So it is very important that women are empowered. Yes, I agree. We must, the people of the Niger Delta region must join to build the Niger Delta together. It is very important that the people of the Niger Delta region begin to actually show and mean, not just project, that we are one people, diverse, yes, colorful, yes, speaking different languages, yes, but we understand the same pain and we feel the same pain. We're talking about protests. If we're talking about protests and we're concerned, I'm not too far from that concern. The reason why I'm not too far from that concern is because everybody in the Niger Delta is not a Niger Deltan. So when the protest is going on, I'm not very sure that it is actually blue-blooded Niger Delta people that are actually protesting. I want to speak directly to the government and say to the government that the people of the Niger Delta region, especially speaking as a woman on behalf of the women, are asking for constructive dialogue so that we can build our Niger Delta region, Mr. President. I've heard so many wonderful things said, and I'm not disagreeing with them, but I want them to be more wonderful so that we can actually, in the next, between now and between 2027, that we can actually see the results of what we're talking about here today. The women of the Niger Delta are not antagonistic. We do not mean to be antagonistic, but we cannot run away from the fact that we must discuss oppression and get rid of oppression. We must discuss the facts with the President on the table that the Niger Delta needs to be cleaned up. We need to know who are these people that are buying up the assets that is in our land, that is polluting our land, that continues to pollute our land. Who are they? A few years ago, there was a blow-up in Bayelsa by a home company called Aecho. And today, as I speak to you, there are at any given time 4 to 5 different ships anchored off the ocean, taking oil into those ships. They do not belong to the Niger Delta people who own those things. And when it comes to stopping oil theft, I'm asking, who are the people really that are the oil thieves? They are not in my creeks. The people in my creeks are just part, the very last end of this. If the President wants, if he doesn't know, I will be willing to re-explain to him the way I did to Yaradua on behalf of the people. The coastal road, please, Mr. President, the coastal road has started from the southwest. Can we also have it starting in the south-south? So that as jobs are created in the southwest for the coastal road that belongs to all of us eventually, that my people will also begin to benefit. And let us also start it from the end so that by 2027 we will have a meeting point where the people will surely know that we do have a president, as we are told, that have a listening ear and is doing so much. MD, the 1 extra trillion naira is naira for intervention. It's not for building the East-West Road. It's not. It's for intervention. We will not take up the responsibility of federal government from our own pocket. And we will not be encouraged to borrow in the name of Nddc. We will not be encouraged to borrow in the name of Nddc because we are struggling with what the federal government of the past. I agree that the suffering of our people today is not brought on by this present government. Very quickly before I stop, somebody came to my gate. I didn't see the person. I'm also looking for how I will also eat. I didn't see the person. But the message I got, please tell mommy, say, anything where the chop remain, make she put them for bag. Make them send them to gate. I no want disturb them. I was not able to eat for some days. We have a situation where the federal government must consider allowing us to do what we need to do for our people immediately. MD, our people are dying in the creeks because they cannot reach hospitals in the boats for 2-3 hours. We want floating hospitals that will be provided for from the funds that is coming from the Niger Delta oil. I do not see the issue of oil going to Mr. A or Mr. B as a situation that is so critical. This is a cabal. This is a business. If oil is being sold for $1, why should you not buy it for $1? Why? Now, when we talk about illness, recently I know of a young man that ended up in teaching hospital. And I'm just showing you how bad the situation is. Mr. Senate President, you're my brother, you're my friend. We've worked together, you and I, during Jonathan's time. I'm surprised we're not yet able to work together, but hopefully we will. I know of a young man, for the sake of Niger Delta, I know of a young man who ended up in UPTH. And between 24 hours, this young man died from the incompetence of a federal government hospital. He was on oxygen and he was being moved to another place in the hospital, UPTH here. And a nurse seized the regulator on the oxygen cylinder. What was that? Because the regulator not supposed to live here, go the 4th floor. And this is a teaching hospital in Rivers State, in Niger Delta. So, Mr. President, this is happening all over the Niger Delta. Women are dying in Kula, in Soku, because they cannot get to a hospital quick enough for placenta previa intervention. Young men are dying because their blood sugar is so high or so low, or high blood pressure is high or so low, and they cannot get from Kula 2.5 hours away by boat. The Niger Delta is the most difficult place to improve and to build. Therefore, the money that is coming from the Niger Delta should no longer be for intervention. It should be for building the Niger Delta so that we will live. We have a right to live. We cannot die so that other people will live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was the Amazon of the Niger Delta, Ann Kilbriggs. Please let's put our hands together for her. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, would like to please plead with you to stick to the 2 minutes for goodwill messages, as time is fast spent. May I now invite to give the next goodwill message, Chief Dennis Otuaro, PhD, Administrator, Presidential Amnesty Program.
Your Excellency, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the Deputy Speaker, the Federal House of Representatives, my MD and INS, the Niger Delta Development Commission, my Chairman, the Niger Delta Development Commission, my Royal Majesty's Highness, and our father, India Bali. Toro Kurukuru, Dio Kurukuru, and my brother, the Ologo Chair of Warri Kingdom. My Niger Delta youths, my mothers, it's on. It's on. Asawana, woo. Today, mine is very small, very brief. First and foremost, I'm a student of the Nddc, and when he started, he took me along. I started with him, and since then, I know that this is the right person for the job, and he supported me. From there, I moved to the Amnesty, and today I'm with my youth. Why I'm here today is for the youth. The government of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is youth government, especially the Niger Delta. In the Presidential Amnesty Program, when I came in, we started our stakeholder workshops and conferences. And all the youth in the Niger Delta, all, they know that this is time for youth, and any time is all. It's all because after the agitators, after the ex-agitators, you people are part of the program. Yes. After the ex-agitators, you people are part of this program too. And that is what I've been saying time without number. So, if you said you are not a camp owner, that is not the problem. The program goes beyond camp owners. It goes beyond camp owners, and all camp people like Boki and Yayen. Are you a camp owner before you are in the program? So don't be jealous of your brothers. Don't be jealous of your brothers. Yes. So this year in the Amnesty program, on our own, we have a program to empower 1,050 of our youth that have been engaged before. a very short one. And in your education, we are going to give scholarship to 500 Niger Delta beneficiaries of the Presidential Amnesty Program. Then as for the women that are protesting, the mothers, you are our priority. After this conference, my next conference is with the women. I know that they are protesting because the stakeholder meeting for the agitators is for only men. So, the women, I'm coming for you. And in your own program, we hold the meeting, only you will tell me what you want. I will not impose any project on you people. And it's going to cut across all the states of the Niger Delta. So it's time for us at this time to own the present administration, support the president, and anybody that wants to protest, just like what the Deputy Speaker said, we should stay outside and watch. But those of us that are saying that no to protest, I know nearly everybody in this hall, by the grace of God, we know that the president means well, and those problems did not start from him. And the reforms that are ongoing, what we need is patience. Nobody can force Nigeria to go back to the old ways again. The old ways of doing things are over, so we need patience for those reforms to materialize. And as for our MD and the management of the Nddc, I thank you for the laudable project. I thank you for even the interventions that are going on, especially on your scholarship and the youth internship program. And we, at the Amnesty program, we are also willing to partner with you because we have the human resources that are already trained. From our books, we already have about 10,000 youths that are already engaged, men and women. They have been engaged in various trades, but what we want to do is to empower them, to engage them. Those that need funding will fund their business. But in carrying that audit, we'll still meet with the women first. After the women, then the camp leaders, and we'll come to Nddc, we'll look at the table and draw out our plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Chief Dennis Otwaro, PhD, Administrator, Presidential Amnesty Program, PAP. Thank you very much. I'd like to quickly recognize the presence of High Chief Bibo Pere Ajube, also known as General Shoot at Sight. Let's celebrate him, please. Thank you so very much for making the effort to be here today. Thank you. Our next speaker, I'd like to invite Senator Emmanuel Ibokesien, FNSE, former Senate Deputy Chief Whip and National Chairman, Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, as he comes for his goodwill message. I plead with us to still use the allotted time, 2 minutes, please. Senator Emmanuel Ibokesien, FNSE.
Maybe if you don't mind, I would like to speak when the Senate President is here. I like to speak because I'm speaking on behalf of PANDEF, and I would like to speak when the Senate President is here. I'll wait there. When the Senate President is here, that's when I want to speak.
Your request has been graciously granted, sir. Thank you so much. And so it is my singular honor and privilege to invite a man that needs little or no introduction. However, for the purpose of this event, I will introduce, to do his goodwill message, none other than Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari Alaboidi Abiali of Kalabari Kingdom. Let's celebrate our leader, please.
The Senate President, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the MD, the coordinator of the Amnesty program, the president of my own organization, the George Youth Council, and all other participants here. I recognize all of you. Izo Kimemia, Kalavarie, Wala Wamna Walabia, Wamu Wamna Wamubia, Waki Wamna Wakibia. I thank all of you. Me, I'm going straight. They've said everything. They've spoken all the English. So the one that I will speak, I don't know which one I'm going to speak now. Now I want to say that I want to go to straight. We're not going to, I and all those who believe in me, and those of you who are committed to the interests of the Niger Delta, we're not going to be part of any protest. It's as clear as that. If anybody have the right to protest, I also have the right to resist protest. Where your rights stop, that's where my right begins. I am anti-protest. People will say that they've given him money. That's why he's talking this way. I am now. Go take your own. Me, I don't take my own. Because a lot of people make these claims, and when they make this claim, you now start to hide. When they make this claim, you now start to be apologetic. We were all here. The same formula, the same pattern. When our brother was there, they protested. Today, another of our brother is here. They want to protest. It's the truth. When you allow yourself to be used, when you always bend your back for people to ride on you, they will continue to ride on you. Like the IYC president said, our needs included in their 10-point demands? No. So we are not important to them. But it's our resources that they want to share. We are not important to, but they want to share our resources. I want to say that me, I have the capacity. I'll be away, Keme. I have the capacity. If you carry your protest come near me, you will collect. Those who brought anti-SARS protest and went to Obibo, they collected from me woto. Everybody knows it. The government knows it. The security agent knows it. I gave them woto. Look, don't be deceived by flowery words. Don't be deceived by people's flowery words.
statement they make, look at their life. What have they done to impact on their society, on the environment? Not be today hospital no day for Buguma. Not be today hospital no day for Bonima. Not be today hospital no day for Calabari land. It has always been there. And I will not expect that my friend came 1 year after. I said because hospital no day for Buguma, we don't close since 1990 something, I should kick my friend out of power. I will not be part of it. These are anarchists. When you fail election, wait for another election season. It's 4 years. Go and sell yourself to the people. But you say you will not agree. After you have failed, you will continue. Then you are not patriotic. You are the problem of this country. You are not patriotic. You are the problem of this country. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu won this election against all odds. No candidate had gone through the travails that President Ahmed Bola Tinubu went through to win this election. Everything was against him, and he triumphed. Wait for your turn. See, let me tell you. Let me tell you one thing. Don't pretend about it. We are all sitting here peacefully. It will be good for you to visit Liberia, visit Somalia, visit Venezuela, visit Somalia, and ask those people. I was in Libya, I was a friend of Gaddafi, I lived in Libya. Libya was paradise. Today, Libya is hellfire. 90% of those who led this anarchy against Gaddafi, they are all dead. Let nobody deceive you that there will be peaceful protest. It's not a peaceful protest. It's a call to anarchy. Have you read the 10-point demand? A change of government. It's a change of government, a change of constitution, a change of this. Is that demand for good governance? That is a coup. And we have to resist. All of us, yes, people have been hungry. This is not the first time. And nobody is happy that people are hungry. We are all working so that people, the burden on the shoulder of the people will be lifted up and will be carried away. The president has done this, the president has done that, the president is doing this, he's not doing that. When a government comes to power, we cease to be political party members. We cease to be PDP, we cease to be APC, we cease to be YPP, we cease to be any other party. We all now have a party called Nigeria. Party Nigeria, that's what we are. And we must all work. No religion says that you must pray for your government to fail. Anywhere you see a small thing for the government to fail, immediately you jump in. The government must fail. This government will not fail. This government will not fail. This government will stand. We might have differences. We must also tell those in government that if you are in government, you must not use your power in government to suppress the people and to cause anarchy. There are people in government say, now we deal, now we go deal with you. You know if you deal with me. You know if you deal with me. Me, you know if you deal with me, I they tell you. Now me, they tell you, say, no if you deal with me. So those who think they can deal with us, they should not spoil the government of Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Me, I know Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I have known him to his bedroom.
And I know that there is no president that had come in this country that is like Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I'm not, all of you know me, I don't flatter people. In fact, I specialize in abusing people. So I don't flatter people. I don't. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and Sammy Mbuku, Denis Otuaro, and others are people who were in the trenches with us. This is the first time a president that is one of us is in Aso Rock. And that's why we must support him. Because we know that he's dealing and interacting with people who do not understand what we went through, what we have. We have paid our price from June 12th to today. We have paid our price. We have gone to prison. We have been underground. We have been buried alive. We have every right to earn our respect. We are telling you, don't go. Look, what they want to do is to come here to blow pipelines, to intercept trucking, to intercept badges. You heard what happened in Imo State yesterday, where they killed police officers. That is what they want to do. And we must resist them. We must not allow them to bring their anarchy here. But if you get strong-head, you bring down. If you get strong-head, you bring down. I know the Tinubu, I know the government, I know the chief of army staff, I know the IG of police. If you do anyhow, you go see anyhow. Don't bring your protest here. This protest does not concern us. And anywhere where you are doing your protest, I did that you are doing your protest, I know that you are a threat to me. I will be a threat to you. That is it. I'm not going to romance my words. I'm not going to do CCCC with you. I am not a CC. My name is Mujahid Okubasare, and I'm going to live up to my name. And I will stand firm. I'm not doing it because Ahmed Bola Tinubu is going to give me anything. No, I'm doing it because I believe that if I don't do it, my life will be in danger. The life of my children will be in danger. The life of my compatriot, all of you who are here, will be in danger. It is wrong for us to be part or even conceive these protests. Those who have lost the election should prepare for 2027. Thank you.
Please a round of applause for Alhaji Mujahid Dokubo Asari, the Alabo Idiabali. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I bring to the podium Senator Emmanuel Ibok Essien, former Senate Deputy Whip, Chief Whip, National Chairman Pandev. Please may I plead with everyone who is coming for goodwill message to stick to the 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my dear brother, distinguished Senator Godswill Oboro-Kpabio, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, distinguished senators, the chairman of Nddc and the MD, and all other protocols duly and most respectfully observed. I bring you greetings from our leader, our elder statesman, Senator Chief Dr. Edwin Clark, who is presently receiving medical treatment abroad and cannot be here. I want to congratulate the Nddc for putting this meeting together, that we come to talk to our youths. About the protests which unknown faces are planning for the 1st of this month. I want us, the Niger Delta people, to know that when the Niger Delta people protested in 1999 for the passage of Nddc bill to override the president, other Nigerians did not join us. It was a Niger Delta affair, and we got. I want also to say that in 2005, at the National Political Reform Conference, when we protested as Niger Delta people for 25% derivation amount to be paid to Niger Delta, other Nigerians did not join us to protest. There are many protests that we have done in the Niger Delta. The East-West Road, other Nigerians have not joined us. So why should we join in a protest at this point in time, when we are having a president from the southern part of Nigeria that is trying to put Nigeria on the rightful path? Tough time never lasts, but tough people do. Why should we protest when we have the number 3 man in this country from Niger Delta? Why should we protest? Any protest, nobody knows the end of any protest. It may happen, and God forbids, that this protest leads to a change of government in a military coup, and the Constitution of Nigeria is suspended. It will impact more on the Niger Delta people, because the 13% we are deriving will be taken away from us. We knew how we fought to get the 13%. And if the Constitution of this country is suspended, that 13% may elude the Niger Delta people. I see, therefore, no sense in any Niger Delta person wanting to join the protest. Rather, if we have to protest, the Niger Delta people should protest that our oil blocks should be returned to us. The Niger Delta people should protest that the oil companies, the headquarters, should all be moved to the Niger Delta region. We should protest, if we have to protest, that all the oil companies, the Niger Delta people, should have majority share. We should protest, if we have to,
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking it.
Also in the house, Honorable Amadi, representing the BK Federal Constituency. Of course, our leader, Chief Tony Chukwu, Adihekari Chukwu, Chief Makon Lemibo have been here with us to give some level of political coloration to the visit of our royal fathers. The blend is very powerful today, and I'm sure with the presence of His Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, who is the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, and then with his brother from Yobe State, the Governor, being witnesses, I'm sure that Nigeria will be so proud of Imo State under the leadership of His Excellency, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. All the media houses here, I acknowledge all of you, and especially those who are going to link us live, the TVC News, the channels, television, and Arise. All other online networks, I am aware, especially the traditional Nigerian Television Authority, African Independent Television, even our own Orient TV, Radio Nigeria. I cited all the correspondents. They are all here trying to have a takeaway of events today from various dimensions. I did request the attention of the management of the hotel, your technician. It would be wonderful if our air conditioners are at optimum levels. I am aware that the hotel was not expecting this size and number of distinguished Nigerians. When royal fathers
been searching for
their kingdom also moved.
Searching till I found
nothing good comes easy.